Mariko Tamaki and Dan Mora pit Mayor Chris Nakano against a group of terrorists who try and kidnap him, but Batman's timely arrival puts a hamper on their and Simon Saint's plan for the Mayor of Gotham. Mariko Tamaki continues to try and work with this Fear State event, but just cannot find anything really of any interest to me, or probably anyone else, about Nakano's side of this story. Chris Nakano started out as a really interesting character, a different character than what we've seen with the Mayor of Gotham. He wanted to change and actually have a different aspect on vigilantes, and he was a cop and all this really interesting stuff. But none of that is in this story. None of that is really brought up or anything. And if that was the crux of the story, like something like Gotham does something to men in power within the city, like it corrupts them or something, that could be really interesting. But the book doesn't do that, and it's desperately trying to keep momentum going for the lackluster Fear State event. There is a hint that Vile might be coming back in some form, like another parasite, or he laid eggs at some point, which we never really saw until now. But again, it all feels way too late. Again, Vile, another character who was kind of interesting, but everything about him that was cool came a bit too late and came right at the end of when that character exited the book. Dan Mora returns as artist, and despite a lackluster story, the art is top notch. I love the focus of the colour red this issue, with many of the pages bathed in a red neon light, or the backgrounds were all red gradients, which is, while helping hide blood, it also kind of symbolises, I guess, anger and violence, things that Scarecrow's Fear State is sort of stoking, but also those were the sort of things that Vile was about, and the tease at the end obviously hints at that, so that was kind of cool seeing that sort of play out through the issue. Detective Comics issue 1043 was a great looking book with a rather bland story about a character who started off really interesting, but was just moved around too much and devolved into a nothing character who's now running in place until this Fear State event is over. I'm going to give this issue a 4 out of 10. Detective Comics issue 1043 finds two magistrate sanitation workers discussing cordyceps and how the fungus mind controls ants and other bugs. The man's friend isn't interested in the story, only half listening, but his friend coyly equates the fungus to the magistrate and how it's everywhere, now controlling everything. At City Hall, Mayor Chris Nakano tells Simon Saint that his staff has concerns about the magistrate taking over and what it means to turn Gotham's policing into a private security company, and the legitimate point about the systems in place need to be part of the final vision he has, since this is a civic office. Saint knows Nakano tried and failed, and the magistrate won't fail, but Nakano knows that this is the responsibility of the politician, not a visionary like Saint, and these actions have consequences, and he will weigh those as he moves forward. He tells his people to go home while the magistrate work on their talking points for tomorrow. Saint's people wonder why Chris won't use magistrate security in the City Hall, but Simon doesn't care since they can and will continue to run this city without him. Chris calls his wife, telling her that he'll be home soon. His wife knows that he's putting it all on himself again, and the man knows that it is on him as the security guard named Nero 19 arrives, proclaiming himself a king as he shoots at Chris. The magistrate soldiers outside rush into the building as the man continues firing on Chris, saying he reports to no man and no one is greater than him, and any man who says must die. Chris grabs his own gun from under his desk as he uses his own trapdoor hidden behind the desk to escape the office. The magistrate soldiers storm the building looking for Nakano as Chris smashes out a window, Nero continuing to fire on him. The magistrate try and get to Nakano, but his security detail protects him from the soldiers. Chris demands to know what is happening as he is ordered into a car, told that he is going with them. Luckily, Batman arrives to save the mayor, demanding to know who the guards work for and why they want the mayor. The car with Chris in it takes off as Chris demands to know what Nero wants, but the man knows that who they are isn't important, but what is that Nakano dies today. The magistrate call in a code red as Batman pursues them on his bike, getting ahead of them. He aims his grapple at the car, hoping Nakano is wearing his seatbelt, but Chris jerks the steering wheel from Nero's hands, flipping the car. Chris gets out of the destroyed car as Nero fires on him again, knowing that he will not escape. Simon meanwhile demands to know how this is happening, learning someone got past their security to try and kill Nakano. He wants to know where the mayor is as his people tell him that they have found the crashed car and Nakano was under fire. Nakano meanwhile falls into the sewers as Batman confronts Nero Nero, telling him that there is no king, only jesters, as he beats the man down. Nero, however, manages to send a live grenade after Chris, so Batman is forced to go after it. The magistrate continue to move in, getting eyes on Batman as he follows Nakano down into the sewers. The grenade goes off underwater, throwing Batman away as Nakano is swept away by the blast, concussed thanks to the underwater explosion. Washed further down, Nakano finds some solid ground, pulling himself up onto it as Batman begins his search, hoping his team can hear him as there's been an attack on Nakano and he's after him now. Nakano meanwhile finds himself lost in the immense sewers under the city, but soon stumbles across some strange red eggs which contain the spawn of Hugh Vile's parasite.